Welcome back to EMS One News and Insider Analysis. Ed Bauter and Dan Schwester from the Overrun. Danny, how we doing?
Great, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. Really excited about this paper today. So this is coming out of Florida. Florida has done a workforce survey, and we have important revelations about the profession. This is on EMS One as well. Dan, you and I have talked about this previously, where we talked about problems within the workforce. This survey covered more than 49,000 EMTs and paramedics. It is the largest data set of its kind in Florida's history and one of the most detailed workforce assessments we have available nationally. Now, we have talked about this a lot and a lot of the problems that are facing EMS, Dan, so we'll be surprised to learn that the problems involved include retention, pay dissatisfaction, mental health burdens. Interest in mobile integrated health is strong among paramedics, and job context is shaped by context. So let's go into this a little bit into detail here. Retention is the most fragile early in the career. Respondents with less than 2 years of experience, satisfaction scores were notably lower, especially in urban areas. Big surprise that we're taking our newest people, putting them into the most intense environments, and they don't love it.
Yeah, we're throwing our newbies into the meat grinder. We see this on a daily basis. We put them through a field training program, we orient them, and then we throw them into the water and say, okay, keep swimming. And they're not swimming. They're leaving. They're getting out of the water and they're going to other things. The idea is keeping people longer, they tend to stay longer. But if we're having trouble retaining the people right at the beginning of their career, when they're most excited, they're most fired up to do things, they're full of learning, they're full of knowledge, we got a major problem.
And in this article, it mentions that the implication is clear: onboarding matters. And that's a really important thing, where how you're bringing people into your organization is important. And it also speaks to the second item here, where pay dissatisfaction is a persistent theme. Yeah. So these first three things here, we have retention is most fragile early in the career, pay dissatisfaction, and mental health burdens are significant and unevenly addressed. All of these things tie into each other. So now you have a new provider who comes into work, either in the state of Florida or anywhere else. They are paid probably lower than they should be. There's not a lot of providers that can afford an apartment just on an EMS salary. And so you have someone new, they come in, they're put into an urban environment where they're going to get 25 calls in an evening. They're paid $18 an hour, something that is less than a livable wage. And then again, with the mental health part of it, they go into these settings and they're not given the support that they need.
Right. Little guidance, little support, your cannon fodder. And we've been doing this for years because there's always been more people coming in. Here's the problem: less people are coming in to the job. They already know what they're looking at coming in. And we're seeing this across the board in emergency services, but especially in EMS, because of the unique position, because of the way we've always done it. We're not getting people. And we've got a problem.
And it's certainly, we're not going to be the first ones to talk about how we need career ladders and we need places to go aside from just being in the field. But again, this talks about medics being interested in mobile integrated health. 60% of respondents viewed MIH, telehealth, and alternate destinations as a good use of their skill set. And then we have job satisfaction shaped by context here. Rural and large cities reported higher rates of job satisfactions compared to mid-sized or suburban communities, which isn't data that I would anticipate to come out of this. But
yeah, I was surprised.
Right. So what this tells me is that I think of your average provider, right? The middle, the one standard deviation provider,
right?
Who, most people live and work in the suburbs, right? And then you have to get these people where they're paid enough, where there's enough reason to stay. And medics wanting mobile integrated health to be a part of their job function tells me that paramedics writ large are interested in career growth and growing their industry, growing their practice. And it was, again, something that we've kind of talked about here is we've got this leadership bottleneck where we try and get people to come in. We're trying to recruit them. We get them into the field, and then only about 5% of those people can, and I'm being anecdotal, only about 5% can move from the staff level to supervisor or management. So the question that I've asked kind of personally is, if I've got a fast food place like Chick-fil-A and I'm competing with them, right? Because this is where you start getting into the business aspect of it, where I have to bring someone in at 17 or 18 years old. Okay, you can come and work in EMS. We'll put you through EMT school. We'll pay you $20 an hour. You'll go out into the field, and then, you'll get other people's body fluids on you. People are going to yell at you. They're not going to be happy that you're there, even though they're the ones that called for you. And then maybe you can progress through your career, but most people end up in the career between 2 and 20 years, and then they retire off the road.
Right.
Or you can go work for Chick-fil-A for the same amount of money per hour, and in 5 years, you can be a franchise owner for $10,000. It's just a difficult prospect, I think, to put toward new
Yeah.
people if we're going to try and recruit them.
Yeah, it's
So
ridiculously difficult. How do we compete with that? By offering more money, by offering better conditions, by not posting people on street corners,
mhm,
by providing them the ability to go to the bathroom, have a meal. These are simple things, and we're still not doing them. And,
right.
it's showing. We're starting not to attract people. People are not into doing this. And that means we're going to start scraping the barrel, and God knows what we're going to get.
Yeah, and this study also matches another study that was done by EMS1 and Fitch and Associates, where before we get out of here, the last thing I want to mention here is the top concern that we see is burnout, where about 76% of respondents talk about having burnout, and whether that's emotional exhaustion, dissatisfaction, mental health symptoms, all of those things. We have a very significant problem in EMS with burnout, with career retention. And I'm not convinced that the data isn't extant on this, and I know that we say that a lot, but it's very, seeing a paper come out almost every year that gives us the same results just tells me that we're not addressing it effectively. So
Yeah.
what we need to start working on in EMS is we need to address burnout. We need to address the pay rates. We need to address the working conditions for people in the field, because on a long enough timeline, people are just going to stop entering the field. There are other
Yeah.
opportunities. There's other ways to make money. And this profession is not what it was in the 80s and 90s. We have to adapt and we have to grow with the times. But let us know what you guys think. If you're in Florida, please give us some information that you have on this. Go ahead, Dan.
The one thing I'm gonna say before you close out, and you said something that's interesting, that it's not it is the same as it was in the 80s or 90s. We just keep doing the same things over and over again, expecting the different result. What does that define? Insanity. Right
Yeah.
now, EMS is insane. We need to fix this. We need to attract people that want to do the job. We want to attract people that want to stay in the job. We need to provide clinical ladders and leadership ladders so that people can have a career and look forward to something more than a disability check coming off the line. And if we can't do that, we're not going to get the people we need to take care of people.
No, and I think that's right. But let us know what you guys think, especially if you're in Florida. Tell us if you guys were involved in this study or how the information came out. Check us out on EMS1 on overrunems.com and on YouTube. And also make sure you listen to When I Can Talk Properly on other videos. For EMS1 news and insider analysis, Ed Bauter and Dan Schwester from the Overrun. We'll talk to you all next time.
Take it easy, everybody.